Trudeau just can't keep his mouth shut. Just can't. He won't give up the mandates like he... I don't know. He won't give up that beautiful long hair. God, I wish I had that. Let's listen to Justin. What is his thoughts on the convoy? And will it end? And how will it end? And let's listen.
So make no mistake. The border cannot and will not remain closed. I want to remind everyone that politicians don't direct police in a democratic society, but I can assure you that the RCMP is working with provincial and local police departments to enforce the law. Everything is on the table because this unlawful activity has to end, and it will end.
Everything is on the table. Yes, you heard that correct. Everything is on the table. And you might say, Derek, what do you mean everything is on the table? Let's hear Justin continue his rhetoric right here.
We are a long way from ever having to call in the military, although, of course, we have to be ready for any eventuality, but it is not something...
Oh, of course, we have to be ready for anything to happen. I'm sorry, but what are you suggesting? As Justin Trudeau goes on to say everything is on the table to bring down the Freedom Convoy and promises quick action after a call with Biden, as Biden told him, hey, do you need more help? Do you need American forces up there? Maybe America can invade Canada to save them from truckers wanting to stop a mandate. Like I said, the media has constantly pushed this idea of a Canadian insurrection constantly. They won't let it up. But let's listen to this clip right here because you need to hear this for your freaking own right now.
If you joined the protests because you're tired of COVID, you now need to understand that you are breaking laws.
That's right, people. You want to protest? You want to be a part of this convoy? You are now breaking laws.
The consequences are becoming more and more severe.
The consequences are severe.
You don't want to end up losing your license, end up with a criminal record, which will impact your job.
Don't you love the way he goes on to talk about you don't want to end up with losing your license. You don't want to end up destroying your livelihood. Gostic geezer. Oh, shut up, you four-eyed twat. Oh, God, that makes me feel so good on the inside and the outside. You must be one of those really sweet and humble people. Moist Cuddler. God, gross. Hello, friends.
Job,
I want to keep listening to this clip.
Livelihood, even your ability to travel internationally, including to the U.S. We've heard your frustration with COVID, with the measures that are there to keep people safe. We've heard you. It's time to go.
You like my beard attempt? All right, I'll take that. I'll take that. I used to have a big beard. I was in a beard competition at one point in my life. I love Justin. He's so handsome. I think you're on the wrong channel.
Go home now.
You want to protest? Well, you are breaking the law as military again.
Never having to call in the military, although, of course, we have to be ready for any eventuality.
We have to be ready for any eventuality. You never know what's going to happen. And this is the kind of disgusting human beings at this rally. Look at them. Send in the military immediately. I just don't know how to stop this. It's unbelievable. I mean, look at these people. America needs to invade and stop this. And look at that hair. Now, that person you want to bring on to a party. Where's that hair? Right there. Right. I don't know how my camera. Right there. God, that's a good hair. Beautiful. Probably way better than the Gostic geezer. Okay. Our revenge will be the laughter of our children. True. Gibson Go intends to ignore Ontario's plan to inhibit the funding for Freedom Convoy because as the Ottawa Town Council and all this stuff are trying to stop all the donations being poured in. But Gibson Go says, know this, Canada has absolutely zero jurisdiction over funds at Gibson Go. All funds for every campaign at Gibson Go flow directly to the receipts and to those campaigns, not at least to the Freedom Convoy camp. They're an American company. Canada can't go out and make laws against an American company. They can try and cry all they want. But Justin Trudeau says everything is on the table to crack down. Wait, Canada is a real place? I am pretty sure, Gostic Geezer, that Canada is a real place, though it feels like it's just our little brother. Biden and Trudeau spoke directly on the phone Friday regarding the Freedom Convoy, the blockades, the border. Who cares? Yeah, who cares? White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said that Trudeau had promised quick action, as he again said that nothing is off the table. Again,
we have to be ready for any.
Boost, thank you so much. I respect your views as well. That's the kind of channel I have. I am just anti-fringe. I'm not here to lose my mind. I'm not here to scream and make it seem like the world is ending within 2 seconds. It's not my channel. My channel is always is about having honest conversations. So I just, like I said a million times, those of you that are new in this channel, Twitch, shout out to Twitch right now. I'm here to be as honest as I possibly can, and I'm here to show clips. I'm here to show as much information as I can, and you and I will be the judge of that. I'm not here to convince you of anything of how to live your life, but I'm here to have a conversation, and I'm here to engage in the news. That's all this podcast is. Agreed. The important thing is to have a political conversation here, both sides, but Justin is a good man. Is he a good man? He seems, I mean, from what I see about Justin, he seems more fake and more just part of, he's just a politician. I mean, the way his rhetoric is, his emotional language and everything he says, we're following the science and we're doing, he just seems like a broken record. He doesn't seem like he's like a genuine person having a genuine conversation. But again, here's Justin Trudeau right here saying,
any eventuality, but it is not something we are seriously contemplating at this time.
But he said nothing is off the table, and that if you are protesting, you are breaking the law. Again,
COVID, even your ability to travel internationally, now need to understand. Join the protests because you're tired of COVID. You now need to understand that you are breaking.
Definitely Castro's son. Definitely not Castro's son. You be the judge.
Laws. The consequences are becoming more and more severe.
The consequences are severe. But let me know your thoughts on this because I genuinely, Castro was a very good man. Sure. Yeah, history is a fun thing to have a conversation about, isn't it? But again, if you have a certain view, you are seen as the other, and therefore you're not allowed to have a conversation. You're not allowed to be a part of this. You're not allowed to be going around and having these dance festivals and stuff like this if you're not for whatever the mainstream or whoever dictates says you're allowed to protest. Because there's a pandemic. Hello, if you travel, you can kill people. I prescribed you those glasses. I'm glad they really work for you. I hope you can. Castro was hot. Oh my God. Hey, I appreciate that, Gossip Geezer. You did prescribe me these glasses, and I won't be returning them. I've had them for over a year. I bet you would go after that cigar. Stalin was pretty cute, though. He was. Oh my God. You guys are ridiculous. Daily. So let's go on to the next story. But here's where it really gets fun because the real reason is everyone in the establishment, everyone in the corporate media is freaking out about the idea of truckers across the world. Cheers from Albania. What up, Albania? Shout out. Wow. They're freaking out about the idea of a trucker convoy going across the world. They just are. As we get to this story right here, Macron from France calls for calm as convoys of protest nears Paris. France, Emmanuel Macron has appealed for calm as the so-called Freedom Convoy of lorries near lorries. I love different words for 18-wheelers. Nears Paris for the protests against the COVID restrictions. How will the trucker convoy go across the world? How can they swim? That's a really silly question. Big fan from Jamaica. Hey, my stepmother is Jamaican, so we're basically friends. BBC News, UK's state propaganda like Russia Today. Yep, we'll get into Russia real quick. I promise you that. I can promise you. But the Freedom Convoy or the Trucker Convoy or anti-mandate convoy, whatever you want to call it, is going across the world. And right now, the media though I don't necessarily believe that the Freedom Convoy is coming to the Super Bowl, the media is putting that out just like the whole Russia thing. There's no evidence whatsoever, but they're talking about it like it's going to happen. Here's Jen Psaki being asked about it, coming to America. Coming to America.
George is
getting upset.
To help sort of alleviate the trade issues that you raised in that call? And more broadly, is the White House or is the government preparing for any kind of similar types of demonstrations here?
Yeah, so two different questions, so let me try to answer them both. So
they're genuinely worried about protests coming here. Neil Diamond, let's go.
So we have continued, obviously the president speaking with Prime Minister Trudeau about this as part of our effort, but our team, Dr. Liz Sherwood-Randall, other members of our administration have been in close touch with their Canadian counterparts over the last few days about how to address this blockade. And
wow, she's hot. She's got my vote. Thank you. I am hot.
The challenge it is posing to the supply chain. I mean, fundamentally, how we view this is that the impact of these protests, while we certainly believe in peaceful protest, has the potential to impact, and this is why we are very focused on this, communities, workers being able to travel back and forth across the bridge, who are going to work, who may work on different sides of the border, the ability to get food on the table to American families, to get auto parts.
Dude, Moist, what the... Be quiet. What the frick? God.
To manufacturers who are trying to make vehicles. So this is whatever their intended stated purpose is.
Trying to do what I can do.
This effort is going to has the potential to have a huge impact on workers and the American public. But to go.
That's right. When you protest, you have a massive impact on everyone's way of life. Isn't that the entire point of a freaking protest? If you believe in something so much so, you're willing to give up your job, you're willing to make people feel uncomfortable, unlike destroying things, but, blockading, shutting down highways, shutting down the border, stuff like that, seems pretty normal.
Go back to your question. We are in very close contact with Canadian officials. We've also taken steps to help detour routes so that a number of these trucks can move in different routes and be able to cross the border. So, for example, while the Windsor-Detroit Ambassador Bridge continues to remain closed, Port Huron is fully operational. Customs and Border Patrol is rerouting traffic to Port Huron, where all 9 commercial lanes are open. The Detroit-Windsor Tunnel is open, which is a way that individuals who are trying to work on different sides of the border are able to travel as well. And Secretary Mayorkas has also spoken with local officials in affected and potentially affected states, as has Secretary Buttigieg has been deeply involved with this as well. On your second question, we are, of course, on reports of a similar Freedom Convoy I think you're asking about, right? In D.C., event in D.C. in early March. The Department of Homeland Security obviously put out a statement on this the other night. They're aware of these reports. They're taking all necessary steps to ensure that the convoy does not disrupt lawful trade and transportation or interfere with federal government and law enforcement operations. On reports that this convoy is causing disruptions at the Super Bowl, the Department of Homeland Security
I do not think there's going to be a trucker convoy at the Super Bowl. Why the heck would truckers go to the Super Bowl? It makes literally no sense in the whole world. I could see them going to the State of the Union address in March. I could definitely see that happening, or going to DC or something like that. What does the Super Bowl have to do with government imposing mandates? I think it would be just like what Macron is worried about. All these truckers going to Paris. The truckers will go to DC, or they will go to some kind of your state capital or whatever in order to push down, get these mandates away. I do not see that going to the Super Bowl. It makes literally no sense. I mean, I could see people getting annoyed at that, but in what way does that? I mean, so the Super Bowl is one day, and then what? You're just done for the day? That makes no sense. You don't. It's going to be more than the Super Bowl. Truckers are the backbone of the world. They're totally unappreciated, and they're seen as, less than. They're seen as not as smart as fill in the blank. You don't have to have a degree. You can just be a hardworking person, and you sit on your butt and you drive all day. It sounds miserable. On the other hand, okay. All right, so next. They should unionize. I'm loving all these leftists in my chat. It's kind of firing me up. Okay, Governor Whitner on Freedom Convoy. This is an illegal blockade. Whitner, gosh, she might be the worst person on earth, but I want to listen to her as they continue to ramp up this rhetoric of these people. Instead of having an actual conversation like, get rid of the mandates, and then these people will just go away and people can go on their own life, because what effect do they have on the hospital? They drive by themselves in a truck by themselves. I guess they can infect their CB radio and their shift knob, if you know what I mean, or they can hit the gas pump. It makes no sense. Just allow these people who work by themselves primarily, or work with people that are in the truck with them, that are in there 24/7. Because I had friends that are truckers that'll have their whole family with them in the back the whole time, and they hang out together. So it's not like, it just makes no sense. It's a complete power move, and a complete. It's not like you're following. There's no science behind it. It's as much science as taking off your mask to eat.
Well, it's never been just a Canada issue. It's been hurting us in Michigan from day one. Every minute this goes on is lost wages. It's damage to our businesses.
No, I haven't, Cuddler.
An illegal blockade. And while people have the right to protest, they don't have a right to illegally block.
Exactly. Truckers have nothing to lose. What do they have? I mean, they have so much power, and that's why people are freaking out. That's why Trudeau and Biden had a call together. They're very afraid of this. But I call me a conspiracy theorist, but I kind of think that our politicians want them to do this so then they can impose more restrictions and can watch the American people more. #Patriot Act.
The largest land border crossing in North America. Hundreds of millions of dollars a day.
Good. Boost. You should.
Are being lost. There are Michiganders who are hardworking, simply want to show up to their job, and they're out of work right now. This is having a huge impact, and we are pushing on the Canadian government to resolve this swiftly and safely, because every minute this goes on is incredibly damaging to our economy.
And that's 100% right. It is incredibly damaging to the economy. That is the point. The point is for you to feel it. That's the whole point of a protest. It's not for you just to bend over and take it. But here's another, because I think it's important to understand the way the media views this protest. They hate it. They hate it with all their might because they don't care about your rights. They don't care about your freedoms. They see your freedoms as a stumbling block for them to do whatever they want. But let's listen to this New York Times reporter, the trusted New York Times source, blah, blah, blah.
Steps at this point. They're going to consider fines and even potentially taking away some of these trucks. I mean, this gets to the heart of a pretty big problem at this point.
Becky, right now we have a pandemic of the foolish and the selfish. What are the governments in America and Canada asking of these drivers who cross borders back and forth every day? Is get quarantined, get vaccinated fully.
See, that's my favorite part in this clip, is that he is so used to just spitting out nonsense that he's not even thinking. He's just like, yeah, just get quarantined. I mean, not quarantined. What message am I supposed to be saying right now?
Vaccinated or be quarantined. Do it for yourself. Do it for your neighbors. Most of all, do it for the doctors and nurses who have been completely exhausted after 2 years of this. So you won't be putting additional pressure on them. And so I find all this all being done in the name of freedom.
I love when people use quotation marks for freedom. That is literally the point, is freedom. The conversation should be had if you take the vaccine between you and your family and you and your doctor, not me and my mayor. I'm not going to go up to my governor and ask him, do you think I should take the vaccine when you know literally nothing about my medical history? That would be the dumbest thing in the world if we were to take our medical advice from our governors, our mayors, our town council, you name it. You take it from your doctor. Goodness gracious. Next story. Let's keep going. Here we go. Blinken says